Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. This is Maj and Nick here, and for today I have a very exciting video. So as you saw by the intro and the title, I have finally got the USS Storm. So this is a boat that I've been wanting for quite some time now. I had saw a video about it, I think it was by LaRond, talking about the USS Storm before I came back to Fishing Simulator not that long ago, and I was thinking, wow, man, this boat looks really cool. I really need to get this. So I began farming for it, and many months later I now have it. I could have gotten it sooner if I was more consistent with the game, but I'm not playing 24/7, so it did take a little bit. But how do you get this boat, you may ask? So it's actually from the Smugglers Bay Index reward. This is an island within Timeless Tides, so for those of you that haven't reached the second sea yet, that's something you're gonna have to do first to be able to even start grinding for this. And you can see on the screen that I have completed the index for it. Not fully, I only have 377 out of 400 variations, but you don't need every single variation to obtain this boat. So getting into the aesthetics of this boat, man, oh man, does this boat look so nice. Like, I actually love the way this boat looks. You can see that I added a neon glow to some of the boat, and honestly I think it stands out a lot more and makes the boat look a lot more appealing. And while we're on the topic of appealing, this really does draw the attention of a lot of players whenever you bring it out in a public server. Every time I use this boat, I always have people swarming me wanting to join the boat, or just saying in the chat, oh my gosh, a USS Storm, wow, so cool, stuff like that. And it's just such like a cool looking boat, and it's so huge. I think that's also part of it. It's such a huge boat that like you can't miss it. You can literally see it from across the map easily if you have your graphics quality all the way up. And especially since I added a neon color to it, you can really see it. Like, it really pops out. It's kind of similar to the Marianne. Whenever you bring that boat out, everyone always wants to get on it, but honestly this boat brings more attention from what I've experienced so far. And taking a look at the back of the boat, you could see that it says USS Storm and it's in neon colors. It looks really nice. And just glancing over the side in front of the boat, everything looks really cool. The way the cannons look on the front and back, the sails that are tied up, the big glass window for where the person actually stands to sail the boat, all of it just honestly looks so cool. It's like a masterpiece. But as cool as the boat looks, let's get into if it's actually good or not, and if it's worth using. So getting into the stats of the boat, its max health is 3,000, which is pretty good. That's a good amount of health. And its max speed is 100. The speed of this boat is what really makes it worse, but we're going to talk more on that later. And its main ability, its main gimmick, is that it can shoot sea creatures automatically. So the cannons on the front and back will automatically target sharks and orcas without you even having to do anything. So let's say you're driving in Monstrous Burrow and there's some orcas nearby, you're going to notice your cannons are going to swivel towards whatever direction those orcas are in, and it's just going to start blasting away. And you get EXP for every time it shoots, so that's really nice. It's pretty much like you're attacking it with a spear, except you're not. It's just doing it for you. But now discussing some of the pros of the boat. So like I just mentioned, it fights for you. You don't really have to do as much when fighting sea creatures. And I noticed it tends to snipe sea creatures. So you might not even be close to a shark, and it might not even be targeting you and coming after you, but it'll still shoot it down and kill it for you. It has a lot of health, like we mentioned before. So it has 3,000, which is a very good amount. And that's pretty much where the pros end. There's really not much else good going for this boat. It's all gonna be downhill from here on out. Now getting into the cons. Like I mentioned before, it's pretty slow. It only goes up to 100 speed, which normally wouldn't be much of an issue if the boat was smaller, but because the boat is so big and so bulky, that's what really makes it bad. Like, I think this is the biggest boat in the entire game if I'm not wrong. I know the super yacht or whatever it's called, that really big yacht boat, I know that's huge, but I think this is even bigger. If this boat had like 150 speed or something like that, it would be so much better. But because you're not that fast and you're super big and bulky, you can't even fit into some ports. Those two combined are like a recipe for a disaster. You're going to get hit a lot if you try hunting with this, which is what it's meant for. This is meant for hunting, and it does a bad job hunting. Sharks are going to hit you a lot. Orcas are going to hit you a lot. You're not even going to know where they're coming from, and they're just going to start jumping your boat, doing a bunch of damage. You're not going to die because, again, it has a lot of health, but you're going to need to be repairing it pretty often or respawning it pretty often. Another con is the cannons are pretty weak. They only only do about 100 damage per hit, which doesn't sound that bad. It's like a weak spear hit every time it shoots. But again, because it's slow and it's bulky, I just don't think that automatic damage is really worth it. And the last con that I have written down, which there's probably a lot more out there if I really think about it, is that it is horrible for fighting Moby. I mean, it's terrible. Sure, you could avoid his normal attacks where he jumps out of the water and tries to swallow you. That's not too hard to avoid, but when it comes to his waves, you better kiss your behind goodbye, because you are not surviving that. It is so slow. There's no chance you're gonna get out of those waves unless you're pretty far away to begin with. The boat's probably not gonna go down. It'll take quite a beating though. It'll probably go down to 1000 health or even less, but you're most likely gonna die because those waves do a lot of damage and you're gonna get hit by like 3 or 4 of them. So fighting Moby is a terrible idea in this boat. And if it was faster, it would probably be a lot easier, but it's not faster. So I wouldn't recommend using this boat to hunt anything, really. To hunt anything. Don't use it for Moby. Don't use it for sea creatures. It's honestly just a cool boat to have. And that's really all that it is. As much as I would love to tell you guys that this boat is amazing and wow, you should really go for it. It's such a cool and awesome boat. Well, yeah, it is such a cool and awesome boat. I mean, look at it. Come on, look at this thing. It looks so cool. But it's really just, it's bad. I'm sorry. I hate to say it because I love this boat so much, but it's bad. It's a bad boat. Its whole point is to hunt sea creatures and it does it terribly. I mean, I rather use the freaking speedboat 2 or whatever it's called, like the beginner boat. I rather use that for hunting, because this, you're just going to keep taking damage over and over and you're not even going to be able to fight Moby effectively in it because you're so freaking big. You're so huge. You take up the size of like 3 boats. But to be fair, this index is really not that hard to get. This was one of the more easy index rewards because you only have to go to 150, as you can see here, while others like Eruption Island, which is 225, which by the way, this is the hardest index in the game to complete, or Shadow Isles, which has 180. So in comparison to all the other indexes, I would rate it like a 5 out of 10 in terms of difficulty. But don't get it twisted, it's still gonna take a long time to get because grinding in this game is just so time consuming. So it might take you a little while to get it. If you really want it, go for it. I mean, I recommend it. I think it's a really awesome and cool boat. It's really fun to use with friends too. But if you're looking to just be effective and all you care about is grinding the fastest and getting things done really efficiently and effectively, then don't go for this at all, really. But that's all I have to say about this boat. Again, it's kind of disappointing, but it's whatever. I'm still happy I got it. I'm still going to use it because I just love it, and I think it's one of the coolest boats in the game by far. But let me know what your opinions are down in the comments below. Do you like this boat? Do you think it looks really cool? Do you agree with me and think it's useless as well? I want to hear your opinions. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.